In the sprawling, anonymous cityscape lived a man named Arthur. He was a face in the crowd, a cog in the machine, another soul lost in the rhythm of a 9 to 5. His life was a flat line, a predictable loop of commutes, cubicles, and quiet nights. He yearned for more, for a spark, for something to break the monotony. But he never imagined the form that spark would take. One weekend, seeking a sliver of nature's peace, Arthur went hiking in the ancient untamed woods beyond the city's edge. As he ventured deeper, a glint of emerald caught his eye. It was a snake, unlike any he'd ever seen, with scales that shimmered like 1,000 tiny jewels and eyes that held the wisdom of ages. Mesmerized, he stepped closer, extending a hand in a moment of pure, foolish curiosity. The snake, startled, struck with lightning speed. A sharp pain lanced through his hand, and then nothing. The snake was gone. Arthur dismissed it, wrapping his hand and heading home, feeling strangely invigorated. That night, something changed. The city's cacophony, usually a dull roar, became a symphony of individual sounds. He could hear a pin drop in the apartment next door, a whispered conversation from the street below. His vision sharpened, colors became more vibrant, and he could see the intricate dance of dust motes in a moonbeam. He felt a new, raw power coursing through his veins, a connection to an energy he couldn't explain. He experimented. A thought, a will, and a book flew from the shelf into his hand. He focused, and the traffic light 2 blocks away turned green. He could not only hear people's conversations, but also sense their intentions, their desires, their fears. The snake's venom hadn't poisoned him. It had awakened something dormant within him, granting him telekinesis, heightened senses, and a subtle but powerful ability to influence the thoughts of others. Arthur, the nobody, was gone. In his place was someone more. At first he used his powers for small things. The best parking spot, a free coffee, making his perpetually grumpy boss suddenly feel generous. It was intoxicating. The world, which had always felt like it was pressing down on him, was now a playground. He walked through life with a newfound confidence, a secret smile playing on his lips. The quiet man from the cubicle was now a master of his immediate reality, but small victories soon felt hollow. Why stop at a free coffee when you could own the cafe? Why influence one boss when you could sway an entire boardroom? The ambition that had lain dormant in his quiet heart, now amplified by his new abilities, began to roar. He started small, using his persuasive influence to climb the corporate ladder at an impossible speed. Colleagues found themselves agreeing with his every proposal. Competitors made uncharacteristic mistakes. Within a year, he was the CEO of a major multinational corporation. From his skyscraper office, he looked down at the city lights twinkling like a fallen constellation. He had wealth. He had corporate power, but it wasn't enough. He could sense the currents of global politics, the whispers in the halls of power, the fears of nations. He saw chaos, inefficiency, and conflict. He saw a world that needed a steady hand, his hand. He began his silent conquest. Using his vast resources and mental influence, he subtly guided political campaigns, orchestrated economic shifts, and whispered suggestions into the ears of world leaders through intermediaries he controlled. He never appeared on a stage or gave a speech. He was a ghost, a phantom pulling the strings from the shadows. Treaties were signed, old rivalries dissolved, and new alliances formed, all according to his grand design. He solved energy crises, stabilized markets, and prevented conflicts before they could even begin. The world began to change. A strange, unprecedented peace settled over the globe. Economies flourished. People felt safer, more secure. They didn't know why. They credited a new era of cooperation. A sudden surge of global enlightenment. They erected statues to the politicians he controlled, praised the policies he wrote, and celebrated a utopia they believed they had built. No one knew the name Arthur. He stood atop the world, not as a king on a throne, but as an unseen god. From his penthouse, he could feel the pulse of the entire planet. He could sense a mother humming a lullaby in Tokyo, a scientist having a breakthrough in Geneva, a farmer watching his crops grow in Kenya. He had brought order, prosperity, and peace. He had become the benevolent ruler he believed the world needed. But in his silent, sterile perfection, a strange loneliness began to creep in. He had everything, yet he had no one. He could influence minds, but he couldn't force genuine connection. He was surrounded by 7 billion people, yet he was utterly alone. He often thought back to that day in the woods, to the emerald snake. It had given him the world, but in doing so, it had taken away the simple, flawed, beautiful experience of just being a man within it. He was the ruler of the world, the master of humanity, and the loneliest soul in existence. Thank you so much for watching. What would you do with that kind of power? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this story, please hit that like button and subscribe for more. It really helps the channel out. See you next time.